Have you ever opened up a photo that was taken in an environment full of greens and you thought, how am I supposed to make this look cinematic? Because a photo like this can be surprisingly difficult to edit. You've got green grass, green trees, green leaves. Sometimes the entire background is green. And I think that this is where a lot of photographers make the same mistake. They see all that green and think, I need to get rid of that. So they desaturate the greens, they darken them, and sometimes even push them towards the yellows. And eventually, they've removed so much color that the photo just inevitably looks clean, but it can sometimes feel lifeless and maybe not even match the vision that you were going for with more saturated greens. But here's the thing, you don't actually have to get rid of your greens to make a photo look clean. You can still keep those greens rich and saturated while still supporting the main subject without competing with it. And the way that I do that actually has very little to do with the greens themselves. It actually starts with understanding what deserves the most attention in my photograph. Because before I ever touch the greens themselves, I'm asking the question, where do I want my eye to look first? And almost every single time is my subject. So once I know what deserves the most attention, then I judge the greens based off of two things. The first is, what mood do I want this photo to have? And second, what is the most dominant color on my subject? Because I don't want those greens to exist independently from everything that's going on in the photo. I want them to work with what's actually happening in the scene. For example, if my subject has a warm, strong color like red or orange or maybe even the skin tones, I can actually use those greens to create a complementary or a split complementary color palette to create a cohesive look across the entire photo between the subject and the environment. So I'm not just thinking, how do I make my greens look good? I'm asking, how can I use these greens to help my subject stand out? And that is a completely different way of editing, because your color isn't just there to make a photo look good. Your color actually controls attention. It can separate your subject from the environment, create a specific mood, and make the entire image feel like the colors actually belong. And this is actually where I think a lot of photographers get stuck. They're looking at their greens and then they're asking, how do I fix this color? But I want you to start asking a different question. How do I make this color actually work with everything in my scene? And once I know what my subject needs, I can build an entire color palette around that. But if there isn't really a dominant color in the image that points attention to the subject, I don't just force a color palette that doesn't make sense, like a complementary or split complementary. I'm looking to create more of a monochromatic or analogous color palette instead, so the greens can still remain a major part of the image while not competing with that subject. And then I'm just gonna rely more on the lighting to separate my subject. And this is actually what I wanna show you in Lightroom, because once you understand how to do this, the Lightroom adjustments become so much easier to make. So let me show you exactly how I'd approach an image just like this. So I have this 4-phase system that helps me know how to color grade any photo shot in any environment, and it tells me what a photo needs before I ever start editing. And I put this entire thing into a 54-page guide along with my top cinematic presets that I use for every single project. And if you want that, I have a link below where you can go grab it. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, so we're gonna walk through a few examples here, but I thought that this would be a great starting base because when we look at the raw of this photo, we've got a lot of greens, we've got some yellows in the grass, we've got kind of this neon green in the helmet, and just like that slight bit of red coming here. And so to go from that to something that looks like this, let me actually create a little bit more space here. And then we're gonna go to a comparison view. So this is the raw on the left, this is the final version. What I was able to do is actually create a complementary color palette. And the way that I was able to do that is by aligning my colors into groups. So when we look at our reds and oranges, like the skin tones, and then this red here, those are sitting somewhere here on the color spectrum. And then we've got our greens, which are sitting like up in here. These are more of like a teal green here, which is sitting opposite of the red and of the orange here. And we've got our tree, which like this could have leaned a bunch of different ways. Like it could have gone more yellow, but we chose to bring this more towards the red instead of more of that yellow tone. And so that works out well because those two are complementing each other, where we've got like these teal greens. And then to top it off, we have that split complementary coming in where we have these yellows in the grass, which are leaning more so in this area right here. And so what that does is it creates this triangle between this color here to this color to this color here, and that gives us a triangle. And that's what we call a split complementary. It's where you have your traditional complementary color palettes where you have one color opposite on the other side of the color spectrum, and then you have another color in the adjacent part of the spectrum. So that would be our yellows. And so we've got this triangle looking pattern here. And going back to what we talked about at the start of the video, I'm looking at this original subject and saying, okay, what colors do I have on my subject that I could create around, that I could draw attention to? And so we've got like this neon helmet, but we also have skin tones going on. We have this pop of red here. And so when thinking about creating a color palette, I'm thinking, okay, these are the colors that I have available, plus a lot of green. So when I look here, I'm like, okay, so we've got some oranges or reds on this side of the color spectrum. Okay, we've got our greens on this side of the color spectrum, but then we also have like this yellow in the helmet. Okay, what does that actually do? And we can start pinpointing and we can start placing those plots on the color spectrum and then start identifying what type of color palette works with what colors we have in our scene. And so for me, this was super easy to go into the color mixer tab and start grouping my colors. So I could start grouping my yellows, I could start grouping my greens to go more towards that teal tone and my aquas. And then I could start going with my oranges and reds to create more of like this orangey red tone, which would complement with these greens. And then the yellows would sit in their own side of the color spectrum. Now going into this next scene where we don't have a lot of color except for maybe this pop of pink on our subject, this can be extremely difficult. But when we start breaking down this logically, we're thinking, okay, what is going to point attention to our subject? And we can look at this pink and then pinpoint that on our color spectrum here. So that pink is sitting somewhere down in here. Then that means our greens need to be sitting somewhere up in like this green, partly teal tone here. And then obviously we could definitely pinpoint some of our greens into like these greeny yellows, or we could just completely get rid of that yellowy tone, bring those more towards that green here. And I'm going to lower the luminance just to draw less attention to those areas because we want our subject to be the main focus, so we can lower the luminance while still keeping the saturation. Like you can see, our greens are still very much so saturated here. And now we're dealing with more of a complementary color palette, but the reason why this works is because we've got all of our greens sitting on this side here, and we've got these pinks sitting here. And so those two colors complement each other really well. But let's say, for example, that we don't have pinks in our photo. So let me actually just remove the pinks from the scene. And I'm just gonna pull that back. All right, so let's say, for example, that this was our scene that we were given where we don't have any color on the subject whatsoever, except for the color that's around the subject in the scene. And so when we look at a photo like this, this is more of a monochromatic look because we're dealing with one major color. So we have two main options of where we can take this photo. So for this one, this is more of a monochromatic look because we have one dominant color for the scene. We don't have any other colors that are kind of swaying or moving that color. Everything is just being directed towards somewhere here within the color palette. But we can actually go into creating an analogous color palette by pushing more variation within the colors by maybe turning some of these yellows towards kind of like this yellowy green, and then maybe like some of these greens a little bit more towards like this blue teal tone. And so we can start creating a little bit more gap and separation between the colors. So if we were to come back to our color mixer tab, we can start shifting these yellows a little bit this way. We can start pulling our greens a little bit more towards that teal. We can start pulling our teals more towards that greeny teal tone here. And so now we've got a lot more variation between the colors themselves. So we've got yellows in the scene, which are sitting somewhere here on the color spectrum. And then we've got our greens, which are sitting somewhere in here. And then we have some of these teal tones, which are like down in this area over here, which are sitting over in here. And so that's actually what creates an analogous color palette. So when you're dealing with an environment where you don't have a lot of variation of color, what you can do is start moving your scene towards monochromatic or analogous based off of the types of greens in the scene that you have, or the type of look that you just want to create. And so this is exactly how we're going to do that. Now let's go into a scene where we actually want to start color grading. All right, so we're going to look at this example here. And so this is what we had for the raw, and then this is what we have after. So there is color that I've done in the color grade. So if I turn that off, then turn that on, it warms up the scene. So we've got some warm highlights. We've got some warm highlights. The midtones are following after the highlights, and then our shadows are picking up some of that blue. And so I'm gonna actually go through and break this down how we get to where we wanna go. So when we wanna start pushing a color grade into our scene, we wanna separate the wheel between warm and cold. So I want my photo to go warmer. So I'm gonna start pushing towards this warm tone within the highlights. And so I'm actually gonna start from this base like a hue 0, which is naturally where you're going to start off when you come into the color grading process. So I'm going to show you how I got to that original highlight tone. So I'm going to start pushing towards kind of like this warm look here, like maybe somewhere up towards this orange. But when we start pushing in, I'm going to go to about 100% just so we can see what's going on in the scene. But we can see this looks red here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start swinging up and opposite toward this green here until it looks too green. So that obviously looks way too green. So now what I'm going to do is what I like to call swinging between the colors. So I'm going to bounce between the green, the red, until I find where this color clicks. So come down, too red, too green, somewhere in here. Now, just to make sure this fits with my scene, I'm going to turn the eye off, turn the eye on. Okay, now I feel like that works. It's not too red and it's not too green, so I'm just going to start pulling this back here. And I just want to give myself a little pop of color in those highlights. Now I'm going to turn the eye off and on. It's adding some nice warmth to my scene. Now my midtones are going to follow after that same color tone. I'm going to keep those pretty muted. I'm actually going to bring back the color a little bit in the highlights. I don't want to pollute the scene. And now you can see that the blacks here are taking on a bit of that red, a little bit of that mid-tone color. And so what I want to do is correct by pushing opposite on the color spectrum. So I'm going to start pushing in these blues here. And so now when I turn the wheel off and on, we're getting more of these neutral blacks here, but it's also helping to complement these greens, which are in the shadows themselves. So when I turn the entire grade off and then turn the grade on, we are getting a really nice clean look. And the reason why this clicks and works is because when we look at a color palette here, our yellows are being pushed in here. Then we've got our reds, which are sitting somewhere in here. And then we've got our greens, which are sitting more within that teal. Maybe our reds are sitting over here a little bit more. And then we've got like these greeny teal tones. And so what that does is it's helping to enforce this complementary color palette. So you can see that everything is literally built around color palettes. So no matter whether you're starting from raw and you're going to the color mixer tab and you're starting to create this look, you're basing it off a color palette. And then when you go into the color grading tab, you're just enhancing that color palette by pushing into what naturally aligns with that. And that is exactly how you get perfect colors within a green environment every single time. All right, if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more videos just like this on editing and color grading, then I think you'll really like this one. So I'll see you over there. All right, peace.